Hey guys, I'm here at the NVIDIA private suite with Marshall, part of the development team that actually works with the game development companies to make everything look beautiful. So, Marshall, go ahead.
So today we're talking about DLSS 4.5. You're probably familiar with DLSS 4.
Yes.
And so the updates that we've announced here at CES this year for DLSS 4.5 have two primary improvements. The first one is an improvement to our super resolution upscaling portion, which will be available to all RTX GPUs, including RTX 20 series, 30 series, 40 series, and 50 series. And that's what this station here is going to primarily focus on. So here we have DLSS 4. So this is the current publicly available transform model that we've talked about last year.
Okay.
And you can see that in Black Myth Wukong. It looks very good, but
Yeah.
there's areas that I'm going to have you focus on. So around this urn on this table here, I want you to look at the particle effects around that.
Are these OLED monitors, by the way?
These are OLED monitors, 4K, 240 hertz OLED monitors.
I need to get one so bad. It looks beautiful.
And then we're going to look at also the particles around the weapon that the character is holding here. And then finally, we're going to look at the floor detail on this little panel right here.
All right.
And then finally, the window detail here with these sort of like pattern
Crosshatching.
window crosshatch things. So just take a little gander there.
All right.
So this is DLSS 4. This is DLSS 4.5.
Whoa.
So we're going to go through those same areas.
I can already
again.
see the difference.
Yeah. So we're going to look at this urn right here.
Yeah. Looks like
And these are set to performance mode for both. So
Okay.
This is the same input resolution for
performance
both,
mode. Wow.
for
Okay.
both networks, right? So this is our new Transformer 2 model. And when we look at these various details, particularly these particle effects around the urn and around the character weapon, you can see that they're more easily viewable with the new model. So we look at these particle effects on both the urn here
Yeah.
and around the character weapon. We can see that these particles are much more easily seen.
Definitely. I didn't see those at all in there.
Yeah. But also the details such as that floor pattern, floor material.
Yeah.
And then also this window out here, you might actually be able to see that you can actually make out the leaves better that are on the trees outside the window, but you can only see those little sections right there. We also have a little toggle, so we can actually go between the old model and the new model on the same display.
Can you do that one more time?
So let's focus on those areas again. So let's look at this urn real quick. So this is the old model.
Yeah.
And this is the new model.
Look at that.
So it's very, very like different that we were able to see all those particles coming through. So again, that's the old model and then the new model.
That's amazing.
And then again on this little floor tile texture, this is the old model. You can see that there's some aliasing artifacts there, maybe a little bit of coarseness to the image. And then the new model, a lot of those highlights kind of come out. It's much cleaner presentation as well. And then lastly, around this window right here, here's the old model. It's a little darker, you might notice as well, versus the new model.
That's so nice.
So the reason that this is so different between these two is we're now putting DLSS a little earlier in the pipeline of the rendering stages. So this one is accumulating basically everything after the tone mapper is already applied.
Okay.
So a lot of highlight details that you get from like a full HDR range that the engine is using versus the HDR range that the display is using are actually a little different. There's more information before the tone mapper is applied that DLSS is now aware of and is able to use to, find these very fine highlighted particles on all these different things, but also things like specular reflections on surfaces like this ground here, or even the details like these windows, which have like a highlight brightness area. Whereas this side would kind of average them out and kind of smooth them over. This one is bringing those details, bringing them out much more readily.
Nice.
So the other big improvement that we're talking about for DLSS 4.5 is our dynamic frame generation mode and the extended range that's also coming as part of that. So with DLSS 4, when we announced it, we gave a fixed multiplier modes, so 2x, 3x, and 4x modes. That would take your initial frame rate, your base frame rate, running it by those multipliers, and then give you an output frame rate that would be that multiplier more of your output frame rate.
Yeah.
With DLSS 4.5, we're extending that range now to 6x, but most importantly, it is now dynamic. So as the rendering load changes, the multiplier will also adjust, and that's to give you, we're trying to target the refresh rate of your display. So these are 1440p, 240 hertz displays.
Okay.
This is running on a fixed 5060 Ti This is the
Wow.
Outer Worlds 2. And so as we I'll show you in a second, but as we move through the scene, we're going to see that these numbers will change in relation to each other. So if we go here, right now it is about 230 to 240 FPS,
Yeah.
and it has a 6x multiplier. If I go look out this window, the rendering load will be much reduced. So you're going to see this number jump up above 240.
Yeah.
And this number here is going to drop down from 6x, it went to 5x, and now it's down to 4x. So what that's doing is it's giving you as many traditionally rendered frames as possible, giving you kind of like more optimal latency that you'd want, but it's letting you maximize the use of your display.
Right.
So if you already bought like a really awesome display like this, that's 240 hertz or 360 hertz, we want you to use that, full range of your display as much as possible.
Okay.
So this is helping us do that. And then as I move through the scene here, you'll see it'll adjust even more. So here we have 4x. I'm going to jump over here. You're going to see it jump to 6. I'm going to drop down here. Go into some of these other rooms. It'll probably drop down to 5 or 4 again. So if I stand right here, I think it might stay. I think it's going to stay at 6 mostly. Should drop down to 5.
There you go, 5.
There you go. And so if you'd like, you can also get hands-on with this, kind of move around and see what that looks like.
Smooth too, very smooth. Wow. Which game is this?
This is the Outer Worlds 2.
This one's already out, right?
So, yeah, this game is already out.
I don't know. I'm thinking about Abe's World for some reason.
So if you go out into this room and kind of run up to the windows and look out, you'll see it dip down to 4, 5 or 4.
That's beautiful.
And if you wanted to, this also has the toggles for the,
Oh, look at that. It's at 5 now.
super res as well. So we can see here the stars, similar to Black Myth Wukong there.
Yeah.
The stars will become more vibrant and apparent between the old model and the new model as well.
Also the reflection right over here.
Yeah, so it'll bring more highlights out in the specular reflection, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.